It's fair to say that the editing process of creating YouTube videos is the one thing that puts a lot of content creators off either starting on the platform or continuing on the platform. It takes an awful long time to make long form content on YouTube. I should know because I've been doing so for just over 2.5 years now, and here on my channel I am all about reducing the barrier to entry to YouTube. And I talk in a recent video about how I edit my videos using a low effort, minimal process. And we're going to talk here about why that is so important and how you can make your own low effort, minimal content and make it stand out from the crowd. Okay, so this is not about how you actually edit the videos, but it's about how you create them in the first place and you make them super engaging despite the fact that they're low effort, minimal editing. So first up, what makes a YouTube video low effort or minimal in terms of its editing style? So these are videos which don't have tons of like B-roll popping up, they don't have loads of graphics, they don't have tons of sound effects, jump cuts and all that kind of jazzy like high-tech stuff where you're moving from like one image to the other constantly in a video. And it was definitely the case that once upon a time all YouTube videos really looked like this. They were very jumpy, jazzy, like high energy, and I think oftentimes you would get to the end of a video and you would be thinking like, wow, that was intense, but not necessarily remembering the content of the video. So they did a really good job at getting people engaged, keeping them watching, but not necessarily in relaying the message of the video. These low effort or minimally edited videos don't have all that jazz. That's not to say that they don't have some B-roll, they don't have some low level music for example, but they are not like highly edited in your face content. And I think why this is resonating so well with a bigger audience is that people have got a bit sick of the highly edited videos. I think there are certain genres that really still like take to that kind of editing style really well. Perhaps the gaming kind of area springs to mind, and if you're making lots of gaming content, I think because the games in general are like high on the graphics and movement and sound, you would be expecting that generally from a video. And it also depends on your audience. If you are aiming to attract a much younger audience, where then perhaps you're going to need to lean into that more highly edited style. Now for me, I am a midlife content creator and my audience are other midlife content creators. So I am aiming to attract an audience of people who are looking to either start on YouTube or grow their YouTube channels age 40 and above. And I think for that kind of audience, this low effort, minimally edited style of video really resonates. And I think there are several reasons for that. I think that personally, when I'm watching those low effort, minimally edited videos, I feel like they are way more authentic. I feel like I can concentrate on the message, on what I'm being told. And certainly I feel like in the education niche or when you're looking to teach someone something, so that doesn't necessarily mean that these are the kind of talking head, sitting down, chatting videos like this one. It could be that you're teaching somebody how to do something like knitting, crochet, cooking, some kind of skill or hobby, for example, where you are demonstrating something to somebody and you want them to concentrate on that message in the video, then you wouldn't necessarily want to be distracting people with lots of like funky edits and jump cuts and graphics and that all that stuff going on, all the sound effects, which might lead somebody who's watching to be actually put off continuing to watch your content. So where we've got an important message here, a strong message to tell, where we are feeling, authentic and confident in the message that we're getting across, I don't think we need everything else. I think that just makes a distraction basically. So that leads us into like the key takeaway one in terms of how to make sure that your low effort, minimally edited YouTube video is engaging. You want to make sure that you have an important message to get across, and you want to think about your audience and what kind of content are you creating. Are you creating something which is educational? Are you creating something which is motivational or educational, for example? Because depending on what you're creating and who your audience is might dictate the style in which you edit your videos. And next up, in order to make sure that our videos are super engaging, we want to think about providing a unique perspective. So there'll be loads of different videos out there on YouTube talking about this low effort editing style, and I'm aiming to bring my own unique perspective to the table. So leaning on my experience on YouTube over the past 2.5 years, leaning on my experience in life in general, the fact that I'm in my midlife and what I'm creating content about, my experience of creating videos like this, like low effort, minimally edited videos. I want to bring that unique perspective to the table. So think about when you are creating your videos, what is your unique perspective? Perhaps it is a controversial opinion, and in general, controversial opinions tend to go down pretty well on YouTube. So perhaps you bring a different flavour to the table. If there is a particularly, topic that is out there and, everyone is talking about why you need to be, baking sourdough bread in a particular kind of fashion, but you're doing it a different way, and about this topic particularly, you want to share that message, then that would be the kind of unique perspective that you bring across. So think about what your unique perspective is and make that clear in your video. Next up, we want to make sure that we are creating our video for our viewer and not for ourselves. So while we might be telling a story about something that we've experienced and that we have gone through, we want to make that relatable to our audience. Like, why is that going to help them? So perhaps you have learned to create sourdough bread a certain kind of way. Why is that going to help your viewer? And you need to impart that knowledge on them, because your audience, as brutal as it is, are not interested in you. They are only interested in you insofar as your experience and the things that you have learned can help them. And when I got my head around this, it was like a total game changer for me. Not to say that I was always thinking about myself, but I think certainly in a lot of my earlier videos that I created on my original channel, I was very much talking about, what I was doing, my experience, and not really thinking about how that related to people that would want to come across and subscribe to my channel and follow along in my journey. So what I needed to be thinking was, I have done this, I've experienced this, and how does that help somebody that is watching the video? So why might they want to watch the video? Well, perhaps they want to learn how to do this for themselves. So then I might talk about my experience or why I've learned that thing or why I'm doing that, but lean in a bit more into the how the person viewing could recreate those steps to recreate that for themselves, so if that's what they wanted to do. So here, for example, when I'm talking about my experience as a midlife content creator on YouTube and talking about what I've learned, I want to be like honing in on the key lessons, what I've learned, like what I might do differently or what's working really well, so I'm going to do that again to help people who are coming across to watch these videos recreate that for themselves on their channel, if that will help them. So this is why I'm talking about topics such as low effort, minimally edited videos. Lowering that barrier to entry into YouTube is my big message, because I love YouTube, love creating content for YouTube, and for me, in order to continue to do so, I had to really lower those barriers to entry and continuing to put content out on YouTube. And I know that if I was in that place, I needed to do the same. And I was feeling that way, juggling work, juggling kids, all these other responsibilities as you are, as a midlifer. If you have other responsibilities, you've got elderly parents, you have a job, you have other things to juggle, then you're also probably thinking like me, how do I make this easier on myself? So when I'm creating content, I need to get in the mindset of my viewer. What have I learned? How does that help somebody who's going to come across and watch that video? And how do I make sure I get those lessons across in what I am creating? So if you're following all of those steps, you will be sure to have a really engaging video that doesn't need all the jazzy editing, which is quite frankly going to take you ages. So take a leaf out of my book, have a go at editing your videos in a low effort, minimal fashion. And if you're interested in this, you'll be interested in the video that I put out very recently, showing you step by step how I actually edit my videos on my phone using the software InShot, and you will find that here. I'll see you over there. Bye.